The sister asks a very profound question, and that is that I've said that Iman is a source of optimism and hope, that Iman provides spiritual nourishment, and yet we find Muslims who also go through depression. We find Muslims who also suffer from, if you like, problems of a psychological nature. How does one explain that? Many, many years ago, I was very simplistic in this. I think even when I taught Light of Guidance here in Toronto, I used to say statements that the mu'min can never go through depression. The mu'min can never be affected by serious problems of this world. I used to say these types of phrases, and almost every time I would say them, doctors and psychologists and psychiatrists would come up to me and say, that's not right. That can't be true. We meet patients, etc., etc. They're good people, pakke namazi, mashallah, you know, and they're also going through depression, okay, etc., etc. And throughout the years, and alhamdulillah, this is something that we all acknowledge, I can't be a specialist in everything. My specialty is aqeedah. It's not psychiatry, right? I studied Ibn Taymiyyah, not Freud, okay? That's not, you know, I mean, there's a difference. So I didn't study that field. As the people kept on coming to me, and I thought, well, maybe let me do some research in this regard. So I contacted friends of mine who are psychiatrists, who are basically, you know, doing their PhDs or their MDs in this field, and we had long discussions about this. And the conclusion that I have reached, which is still a preliminary one, and subhanAllah, the more you learn in knowledge, the more humble you become, and the more cautious you become in making statements. So I'm not making a conclusive, definitive statement. I'm making a preliminary hypothesis. And those of you who are in these fields can go about and test and prove them. The general rule is that if a person is sane in all aspects, then Iman does act as a powerful motivational force. Iman acts as a powerful force that allows him to overcome depression. And if a person is normal and regular, he's balanced hormonally, right? There's no problem of the brain or the pituitary gland or whatever else, right? Then, insha'Allah ta'ala, the mu'min does not suffer from depression. And I stand, insha'Allah, correct in what I said. But there are people who have mental imbalances, or they have problems from birth, or they have hormonal imbalances. And for them, there is an actual problem that is not Iman-based, it is biological, right? And so for them, even if they have Iman, Iman doesn't cure cancer, right? Iman does not cure biological diseases. So there are people who have hormonal imbalances, they have medical issues, they have psychiatric problems, right? If a person has been abused as a child, being a mu'min will not necessarily remove that abuse. They are psychologically scarred. And so later on in life, they might go through proper depression even if they have a lot of Iman, right? So that is my preliminary, corrected, modified version 2.1 statement now, okay? And I have no problems if you do your research and come back and correct me till I get a version 3.1 or 4.1. Until I get to XP, inshallah, then we can worry about that, okay? But preliminarily, I take my statement back of 4 or 5 years ago, and that's why I didn't say it right now, if you noticed. I didn't say that the mu'min never undergoes depression, because I don't believe that anymore.